With the development of science and technology, tourism has become an integral part of human life. Now we can just buy a plane or train ticket, pack a backpack of our most necessary items, and travel the world. But until a couple of centuries ago, traveling wasn't so easy. The 19th century is referred to as the boom of tourism, when new horizons and opportunities were open to all of humanity. Huge luggages followed wealthy people who wanted to see the world. They hired special workers who packed all the things they needed for traveling into a suitcase. They even hired separate staff who carried the suitcase so that it wouldn't be damaged, and most importantly, so that it wouldn't get wet. In 1858, the first of its kind flat suitcase was introduced to the world in Paris. It was invented by the person whose name we all know very well today. That's how the world first heard the name Louis Vuitton. The first Louis Vuitton workshop was opened in Paris in 1854. The founder of the French fashion house Louis Vuitton was born on August 4, 1821 in a small town on Lons-le-Sainier in southern France. Since childhood, he was destined to go through a rough path in life. Every day, the boy helped his father work on the farm from early in the morning till late at night. There was not enough money for a normal life. He only ate once a day, and sometimes he even had to sleep at work. At the age of 10, fate decided to surprise the boy in a horrible way. His mother passed away from an unknown disease, and his father died a little later as well. His life turned out to be far from sweet and fabulous. At the age of 13, he left his father's house in search for a better life. He decided to move to Paris, but since the little boy had no money, he journeyed all the way there on foot. This was a 470-kilometer walk and took him several years. Louis would stop in small towns along the way where he would find part-time work and food. Kind people offered him a place to stay and fed him. It was not until he was 16 years old that Louis Vuitton finally reached Paris. The first couple of weeks were very difficult for the young boy. He wandered the streets in search for work and slept wherever he could. Life was very harsh with him until one day he saw a beautiful box at a store. Its shape, color, curves lured in Louis so much that he even dared to go inside to see its whole beauty up close. The workshop was full of visitors. Louis immediately noticed that the workers could not handle the work due to the large amount of customers. Gathering all the courage he had in himself, he approached the head of the workshop and offered his help. Perseverance and dedication, and most importantly, the desire to work, got him the job. The very next day, Louis became a full-fledged employee of the Messie Marichal workshop, one of the most successful manufacturers of suitcases. Making luggage was a very respectable and popular profession at the time. Thanks to his perseverance, within a few years, Louis earned a reputation among wealthy Parisians as one of the best luggage designers. At the age of 33, Vuitton had a stable job and a decent salary. He married a 17-year-old Clémence Amélie Parillot, and a year later they opened their own workshop. In 1854, Louis opened his own workshop on the Rue des Capucines. There was a sign at the main entrance of the workshop that read, "We securely pack the most fragile items and specialize in fashion packaging." Most of his work at the very beginning were individual orders. For example, in 1856, one of his orders was to create a chest for transporting ponies for a famous French circus. But Louis wasn't satisfied with this. Of course, his business was prospering, he was earning a lot of money and getting many orders, but he was just one of the hundreds of masters who designed such chests. Louis was so good at his job that he decided to do something that would make him famous. He didn't know what to invent because it seemed to him that everything necessary had already been invented. Nonetheless, he came up with a brilliant idea, and later on that idea turned into reality. In 1858, Vuitton introduced his revolutionary waterproof chest to the world. It had a rectangular shape with rounded lids. They became so famous that they determined the shape of travel bags for the next 70 years. The Trianon was the world's first suitcase with a flat lid that opened from the side. Before that, suitcases only had a convex shape and opened from the top so that the water didn't accumulate on the surface of the suitcase when it rained. The Trianon was lined with waterproof fabric, and its flat shape made it more comfortable to use. This way, suitcases could be stacked on top of each other. The success of the new model was also due to the fact that people began to travel by train. The convenience of the new accessory attracted the wealthiest people. The suitcases became very successful, even far beyond the borders of France. But once again, there came a dark time in Vuitton's life. Louis was faced with a major problem. Fake Louis Vuitton suitcases began to emerge. Vuitton decided that since he was the first to come up with the idea, then his suitcases should be different from the rest. That is why, in order to give individuality to his product, he decided to develop an original color that would stand out against dull shades of other suitcases and bags. In order to differ from competitors, first a brown beige stripe and then a chest print appeared on Louis Vuitton's suitcases. To this day, the chest print is only associated with this brand. The customers of this brand have always been wealthy people who knew a great deal about quality and beauty. One of them was Napoleon III's wife, Eugenia. Thanks to her, Louis Vuitton's store attracted the attention of a large number of rich people in the country, ensuring the success of his future career. In 1867, Louis received a bronze medal at the International Exhibition in Paris for his contribution to society, since the whole world now traveled only in Louis's suitcases. But everything was not as fabulous and good as it seemed. In 1871, as a result of the Franco-Prussian War, his workshop was ruined and most of his equipment was stolen. This was a very difficult time for Louis, who put so much effort in the development of his brand. However, he didn't let this bring him down. He quickly figured a solution, and in a short period of time, he was able to restore production. The demand for his product was so high that in 1885, Vuitton opened his first store outside of France. From 1857 to 1936, management of the company was passed on to Louis's son, George. In 1886, they jointly patented a spring lock which is used to this day. All models of locks were stored in workshops in case the owner needed another key. Louis dedicated his time to his beloved job until his death. He developed and invented comfortable handles for carrying luggage. The great master died at the age of 70, after which the business was passed on to his son, George Vuitton. He was the person who invented the legendary monogram with flowers and the letters LV in memory of his father. The first suitcase with such an unusual design appeared in 1897 and is used to this day. The son of the legendary founder decided that it was his duty to make sure that the brand was internationally recognized, and he succeeded in it. Thanks to George, new stores were opened in New York, Buenos Aires, and so on. He was the one to open the most famous store in Paris. New models of bags were invented every year. After George, the management of the company was passed on to the hands of his son, Gaston Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton's grandson. He transformed the brand and made adjustments to its design. The legendary print became a bit smaller. During World War II, the Louis Vuitton brand supported the Nazis. However, the company prefers not to remember this historical period. The 1970s were a period of relaunch and rapid development for Louis Vuitton. The company grew in the early 1970s from 2 exclusive stores and 100 million euros in sales revenue to 125 stores, generating 600 million euros in 1989. In 1987, Louis Vuitton merged with another luxury brand, Hennessy. Today, the company owns more than 70 brands such as Christian Dior, Hennessy, Givenchy, and so on. The Louis Vuitton bags have been worn by famous stars and celebrities all around the world. Some of them include Princess Diana, Audrey Hepburn, Angelina Jolie, and Kim Kardashian. It's surprising that the technology of manufacturing suitcases hasn't changed since the time of the first workshop. In 1989, Bernard Arnault, a French billionaire, took over the company, and in 1997, Marc Jacobs became the creative director of the company. Thanks to him, the company prospered. He first designed the model of light silk dresses. Under his leadership, the brand released collections of men's and women's clothing and shoes. Marc worked for the company for 16 years. Today, this luxury fashion house has its own brand stores in 53 countries of the world. According to the tradition of the company, all unsold bags are returned to Paris where they are burned. This is done in order to avoid fakes and to remain the only brand responsible for its quality and originality. In 2016, a collection of fragrances for ladies appeared on sale in many Louis Vuitton boutiques. Louis Vuitton bags are considered the most expensive bags in the world. Their price varies from $5,000 to $55,000. Today, Bernard Arnault's net worth is estimated to be $102 billion. He is listed as one of the richest people in the world. The French brand can be easily recognized not only due to its unique logo, but also because of its amazing quality. Its boutiques all over the world generate a lot of profit every year. Louis Vuitton is considered as one of the best and the most successful brands in the world. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting videos.